Will the world recognize the Taliban government? Afghanistan's diplomatic battle, a new arena friends. The longest war in modern history has ended. But for the Taliban, a different kind of battle has just begun. One without bullets, without bloodshed. This is a battle fought in embassies and boardrooms, at press briefings and international forums. This is a diplomatic war. And the question now is, can the Taliban win recognition from the world? Let's step into the storm, the political whirlwind that surrounds Afghanistan's new rulers. When Kabul fell, the world held its breath. When the Taliban took control of Kabul in 2021, the world was stunned. Airports were flooded, embassies evacuated, and global headlines exploded. But amidst the chaos, a quiet question began to grow louder. Has the Taliban changed? Or is this history repeating itself? Governments didn't rush to answer. Instead, nations like the United States, the UK, and the European Union responded with cautious, calculated words. We will judge the Taliban by their actions, not their words. This was the first sign. The world wasn't ready to welcome them back. Not yet. From fighters to diplomats. A shift in strategy, but the Taliban were no longer moving with guns alone. They were moving with strategy, caution, and purpose. Within weeks of seizing power, they initiated diplomatic contact. They opened dialogue with China. They met with Russian officials. They reached out to Pakistan, Iran, and Central Asian nations. This wasn't a group hiding in mountains anymore. This was a leadership stepping onto the global stage, demanding to be heard. What the Taliban want with control of the country, they made their expectations clear. Recognition at the United Nations. Access to Afghanistan's frozen financial reserves. Humanitarian aid, directly through their government, not through intermediaries. Their message was simple: we are the government now. Treat us as one. But the world raised its concerns. Global powers listened, but didn't commit. They had serious questions. Women's rights. Will girls be allowed to study? Freedom of expression. Will the media be silenced? Terrorist networks. Will Al-Qaeda and others find safe haven again? And because these questions remained unanswered, no country, not even their neighbors, officially recognized the Taliban government. Frozen assets. The economic stranglehold. In the meantime, a silent war was being waged through money. Billions of dollars belonging to Afghanistan were frozen by the EU and its allies. This money was essential for stabilizing the economy, running banks, and paying salaries. But now, with reserves locked away, the Afghan economy collapsed. Inflation soared, jobs disappeared, poverty deepened. The Taliban protested. This is the people's money, not a weapon. Release it. But the world didn't budge. Aid without recognition. Interestingly, humanitarian aid continued. Organizations like UNICEF, the World Bank, and WFP kept sending support. But they chose a careful route, bypassing the Taliban entirely. They worked through NGOs and UN agencies, avoiding direct ties with the government. This was the message: we'll help your people, but we won't legitimize your rule. Not yet. A tug of war. Recognition versus reform. At this point, we must ask, is the world really refusing to recognize the Taliban? Or is it using delayed recognition as a tool to demand change? From the Taliban's perspective, they've done enough. The war has ended. A general amnesty was declared. Security was largely restored. And so they say, we fulfilled our promise. Now it's your turn to recognize us. But the world answers, promises aren't enough. Show us real reforms. This is the gray zone of global politics, where recognition is not just about power, but about principles. The diplomatic reality: some countries, like China, Russia, Iran, and Pakistan, have opened channels and held talks, but even they haven't formally recognized the Taliban. This creates a strange diplomatic balance. Relations exist, but legitimacy does not. The Taliban are present, but not recognized. Engaged with, but not embraced. What lies ahead? The Taliban now face challenges beyond borders. Rebuilding the shattered economy, convincing the international community of their credibility, and earning legal recognition as Afghanistan's legitimate government. This battle will not be won with guns, but with dialogue, patience, and the ability to adapt. If they succeed, it will mark a new kind of victory, one written in diplomacy, not war. Friends, if you found this episode meaningful, here's how you can support us. Like this video, it gives our voice power. Comment your thoughts. Your voice builds this community. Subscribe, because we bring you the stories others won't. In the next episode, we'll explore Afghanistan's economic future under Taliban rule. Can they rebuild a nation under sanctions and global scrutiny? Or is poverty the biggest war they'll ever face? Until then, stay with truth, stand for peace, and seek knowledge, always.